Welcome to the channel. I trust that you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to do a step-by-step beginner tutorial on how to set up and use Tradingview. I'll show you the various different plan types or how to proceed using a free basic version of Tradingview. Then I'll show you how to set up and customize your chart appearance. From there, I'll show you how to find some assets, change time frames, and how to add some indicators to the chart, as well as how to adjust the settings and the appearance of indicators. From there, I'll show you how to save your chart layouts, build watch lists, access drawing tools, and set alerts. All of that and more with some tips and tricks along the way. If this is your first time signing up on Tradingview, I've left a link for you in the description of this video as well as in the pinned comment down below. If you sign up using my link, you'll receive $30 towards your new Tradingview plan. You'll also be supporting this channel at no extra cost to you. So if you do use my link, please let me know in the comments down below so that I can say thank you. I've also left some timestamps in the description of the video, so feel free to skip ahead to a section that might be most relevant to you. If you appreciate this kind of content, I will be making more Tradingview tutorials in the future, so don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe. Let's get into the video. You can use the Tradingview platform for free just by simply coming to the website. And you can do that by using the link in the pinned comment down below or in the description of this video. Once you're on the Tradingview website, you can come up here to products. You can come down here where it says chart, give that a click, and this will bring you into the charting portion of Tradingview. If you haven't created an account and signed up for a plan, you'll be using the free basic version of Tradingview. This version is perfectly fine if you're brand new to technical analysis, but it does come with some limitations, such as a maximum of 3 indicators on a chart at one time, limited historical data, as well as no custom time frames, among other restrictions. If you'd like to compare some of the differences between the basic version and the paid plans, we can just come back over here to the home page, and then we can come up here on the top right hand side and click on Get Started. And here's where you'll find the different plans that Tradingview has to offer. Scroll down the page and you'll find a section where you can compare the plans and see the differences between Basic, Pro, Pro Plus, and Premium, and the various different features each plan has to offer. Using the free basic version of Tradingview is a decent way to get started. There are several limitations, but you can use it as long as you want before deciding if you'd like to upgrade to a plan. Also be aware that you're going to get pop-up ads when using the basic version. Personally, I find that quite distracting. I would simply recommend trying one of their plans up here for free. As you can see, you can try any one of these for free for 30 days. That way, you're unlocking the full potential of Tradingview and making a more informed decision when deciding if this is going to be a good fit for you. If you decide to sign up for a free trial, I would recommend signing up for the plan that you're most likely to purchase. When you're ready to sign up, simply come down here and click on Try Free Basic, or click on the plan that you wish to try for free for 30 days. You'll then be redirected to this page here where you can sign in using a social media account, or you can simply use an email. If your page says sign in like mine does here, simply come down to the bottom of the screen where it says don't have an account and click on sign up. For this demonstration, I'll sign up using an email. On this page here, choose a username, then enter your email, and then choose a password for your account. Then agree to the terms, complete the CAPTCHA, and then click on Create Account. Then Tradingview is going to send you an activation email to your email account. Simply come into your email, find the email, and then click on Activate Account. Then Tradingview is going to ask you to put in your first and last name, and then click on Continue. You're now using the free basic version of Tradingview. If you want to activate a trial version, simply click on the version that you wish to try for free for 30 days. On this page here, you'll be asked to put in your payment details, but as I mentioned before, you won't be charged for the first 30 days. Once you input your details, simply click right here where it says Start 30-Day Free Trial. Then you'll get a confirmation page and simply click on Start Charting. This will bring you over to the default setting of the advanced charting on Tradingview. Alternatively, you can get to the charts from the home page by coming up here to Products and then clicking on Chart. The default setting of the price action chart is candlesticks. If you wish to change that, just simply come up here to the candlesticks, give this a click, and then select your preference from this drop-down menu. Here you can find line charts, you can switch things to bars, but my preference is candles, so I'm going to be using that for this tutorial. In a nutshell, Candlesticks are showing us where price opened and where price ultimately closed. It's also showing us how high price got and how low price got between the open and close. I'll go ahead and zoom in with the wheel of my mouse. And as an example, if we look at this buy candle right here, we can see that price opened right here and ultimately closed with this candle body right here. We can also see that price action got as low as this wick right here and as high as this wick here between the open and close. And the same is true for a sell candle. If we're looking at this sell candle right here, we can see price action opened here and closed just a little lower right here. But between the open and close, we saw price manage to get as high as this point right here and as low as this point right here. When it comes to the appearance of the chart, the first thing that I like to do is toggle it from light mode into dark mode. To do that, we'll come up here to the top left-hand side of the screen and we'll click on our profile icon. In this drop-down menu, you can see that you can toggle from light mode to dark mode by simply clicking right here. I prefer dark mode, so I'll be using that for the duration of this tutorial. The next thing that I like to do is bring up the chart appearance settings. You can do that by right-clicking on the chart and coming down here and clicking on settings. And alternatively, you can come up here to the top right-hand side of the screen and click on this little cog wheel. Here we can see the various different chart settings. So let's start by coming up here to symbol. Inside symbol settings is where we can change the appearance of the candlesticks. You can see that by default, Tradingview has the buy candles set to green and the sell candles set to red. This works perfectly fine for me, but if you wanted to change the colors, here's where you'd get that done. So for example, let's change the body colors. We'll come over here to the buy candle, give that a click. Now we can select a new color from this color palette. And I'll just do something obvious. Let's go white. Now you can see all the buy candles candle bodies are now white. We can even adjust the opacity of it too. If we grab this little slider bar, you can see we can reduce the opacity or increase it. Now let's go ahead and do the sell candles and let's just switch them to blue so it's nice and obvious. Now you can see all the sell candles have candle bodies that are blue. If we want to add a little extra pop to those, we'd come to borders. Let's just do the same thing, just like so. And let's do the same thing for the wicks. Go something like this. Now you can see that the candlestick appearance has changed drastically. We can even remove certain components of them. So if we wanted to get rid of the candle bodies, we could uncheck this box and now we have hollow candles. If we wanted to get rid of borders, same thing. If you didn't want wicks, same thing. At any given point, you can always come down here where it says template, give it a click, and you can click on apply defaults to get them back to their default settings. Underneath symbol, we have status line, and here's where we can toggle on and off the information that's displayed at the top left-hand side of our charts. For example, you can see right here where it says Ethereum Tether US. If I come back in here to settings and uncheck symbol, you can see that I removed that from the top left-hand side of the chart. Down here, you'll see open market status. This is more for stock traders, as cryptocurrency markets are typically open 24/7, unless it's CME or something like that. But this refers to this little dot right here. And that little dot's letting us know this market is currently open. If we want to get rid of it, just uncheck the box. And as you can see, it's gone from the chart. Below that, you have your OHLC values. That stands for open, high, low, close values. And that's these little numbers right in this area here. If you want to get rid of them, you just uncheck that box. Now, I personally leave all of these on. Some traders will turn these off just to clean up their charts and make them look a little less distracting. Totally understandable. But I find some of this information quite helpful. I mean, the OHLC values, as an example, if I come over this candlestick right here and hover my cursor, you can see the values of where that candle opened, the highs, the low, and the close. If I slide my cursor over a couple more candles, you can instantly see the open, high, low, close of any candle that you want just by simply hovering over it. It's a very quick way to reference that information. But if you wanted it turned off, you just uncheck that box, of course. Then down below that, you have your bar change values. If you want those turned off, you can just click right here. And as you can see, that's dealing with this number right here in this little percentage. So if we uncheck it, it's gone. Check it, it's back. And in this box right here, you can have things set to description, or you can just toggle it straight to ticker. You can see that we've changed the appearance of this right here. Or you can go ticker and description, or just leave it on description, whatever your personal preferences are. At any point, you can always come down here to template, click on that, and apply the defaults. And underneath status line, we have scales, and this is where we can toggle information on and off that's going to appear on the y-axis of the chart. So as an example, if we come over here, we can see a little countdown timer here. That's letting us know how long until the current candle closes. And I definitely like to leave that on. But if you wanted to get rid of it, you'd come back over here and you'd uncheck this box right here, countdown to bar close. When we uncheck it, you can see we've removed that from the y-axis of the chart. If we wanted to add a symbol name next to that, we'd come up here where it says symbol and name label. We'd check that box. And as you can see, we've added the pairing beside the price point there. I don't need that on my chart, so I'll just go ahead and get rid of that. When it comes to trading cryptocurrency, the default settings in here work perfectly fine for me. But when you have some time, you can come in here, you can change some things around and get it looking the way that you like it. And underneath scales, we have appearance, and I do like to change a few things around in here. For starters, you can see the background is currently set to a gradient, and that is a fairly subtle gradient in the background here, so it's not too bad. But personally, I like to switch this over to a solid, and then I like to switch the color to as dark as possible like this. For me, this makes it much easier to read the chart. But if you're someone that likes a gradient, you could always switch the colors of the gradient. So we could choose our first color as maybe a little bit of a gray here, and then maybe we could do the second color as a dark black. Whatever looks good to you. So I'm going to go ahead and just switch that back to solid. The next thing I like to do is I like to remove the vertical grid lines and the horizontal grid lines. For me, they're not serving much of a purpose, so I like to get my chart looking as clean as possible. So to do that, I just click right here, and then I bring the opacity down to 0. And then I like to go to my horizontal, drag that down to 0 as well. And as you can see, we've removed the grid lines in the background. The next thing I like to do is I like to turn the watermark on, and this is just a personal preference, but you'll see when I check this box here and click OK, you can see that I've added the watermark in the background here. So ETH versus USDT on the daily. But that's just a personal preference. If you don't want that there, you just simply uncheck this box to get rid of the watermark. Aside from that, I don't mess with anything else in here. And down below appearance, we have trading. And this panel is mostly relevant if you're going to be connecting Tradingview to a broker. Currently, I'm mostly trading cryptocurrency, and I execute my trades directly on the exchange themselves. So I'll use Tradingview to do my technical analysis, but then when it comes time to execute the trade, I go directly to the exchange. But if you're looking to connect Tradingview to a broker, to do that, you just close this out, come down here to Trading Panel, open that up, and then simply click Connect on the broker that you wish to connect to. If you want to do some paper trading on Tradingview, you'd come over here to connect to paper trading, and I highly recommend that if you're new to trading. I think in the future, I'm going to do a brief video on how to paper trade on Tradingview, so definitely subscribe and stay tuned for that. So let's bring the settings panel back up here, right click, settings. One thing I will turn off is this right here, buy sell buttons, and that's just because I'm not connected to a broker. Your buy sell buttons are located just up here, and I'm going to go ahead and just turn those off. That cleans up the chart just a little bit more for my liking. The next thing I like to do is bring up the volume on my chart. So if your volume isn't already showing, what you do is you come up here to indicators, give that a click, and then in the search bar, let's go ahead and just type in volume. And it's this one right here, so go ahead and give that a click. Now you can see that I've brought the volume up at the bottom of my chart. From here, I do like to change the appearance of the volume. To do that, we'll come up here, and here's where we'll find the volume control panel. If we want to temporarily hide the volume from the chart, we can click on this eye icon. If we want to bring it back, just click on it again. To adjust the settings, we'll click on this tiny little cog wheel here. Then we'll get a little pop-up window where we can adjust the inputs, style, and visibility. For the moving average length, I just simply leave this on a 20. That works perfectly fine for me. But if you wanted a different period, you could always do something like this. Some people like a 30 period, whatever your preference might be. For me, I just leave it on a 20. Next, I like to change the styles. We'll go ahead and give that a click. You'll notice here that the growing volume is green and the falling volume is red. For me personally, that's not important, and I find that a little bit distracting, so I do like to change both of those to gray, but that is just a matter of preference. So to change the color, we'll click on growing volume here, and we'll just make it a gray like so, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the falling volume. For me, that's just way less distracting. All I want to know is how much volume is behind a particular move, or if the volume is expanding or contracting. And that serves my strategy very well. But again, it's just a matter of preference. To toggle the moving average on, we'll click this little box right here. Now you can see we've added that 20 period moving average to the volume. I like to change the color over to orange, so I'll go ahead and just do that, but choose whatever color that you might like. If you want, you can take things a little further and click right here. You can change the volume to a line. You could do a histogram if you want, but for me personally, columns work just fine. This is as far as I take the volume indicator, so I'm just going to go ahead and click OK. Once you get your chart appearance looking the way that you like it, you can save it as a template. To do that, let's right click on the chart, and we'll come back down to chart settings here. Right down here, you'll see where it says template. Give this little arrow a click. Then come down where it says Save As, give that a click. And here's where we can give the theme a name. So let's just go ahead and call this TA5. Click Save. Now when I come back down here to Template, you can see TA5 right down below here. So I'll go ahead and just apply the defaults here. Let's click OK. If we wanted to load our template, right click on Chart, down to Settings, down to Template, TA5, and as you can see, TradingView has restored our theme for us. If you want to remove a theme, you'd give this a click. Then you just click the little X beside the theme that you wish to remove. Confirm, and as you can see, I've removed TA3 from the templates. That's how you save your theme. Later in this tutorial, I'll show you how to save your chart layout as well. So let's just go ahead and close this out. At the top left-hand side of your screen is where you'll find your symbol search. And this is where you go when you want to change the asset that you're looking at. So in my case, I would click where it says ETH USDT. So let's go ahead and click that. This brings up the symbol search. And to find a different asset, we would just come down here to the search bar and we type in the name of the asset that we wish to view. So for an example, let's go ahead and do Bitcoin. Now down below, we can see all the Bitcoin results. We'll just simply click on the result that we wish to look at. So let's go ahead and click on BTC USDT Tether here. And as you can see, we've just switched from the Ethereum chart to the Bitcoin chart. So finding other assets is as easy as that. Next to your symbol search, you'll see this little plus sign. This is where you click if you want to compare or add a symbol to this chart. As an example, let's imagine we wanted to compare Bitcoin to the S&P 500. We'd go ahead and click on this little plus sign. And as you can see, the S&P 500 is right at the top here. We'd go ahead and click on that. And when I close this out, we can see the S&P 500 in the background in this little line chart here. If we want to get rid of it, we'd come back up to this little plus sign, give it a click, and then we'd uncheck this box. If there's something specific that you want to compare one asset to another, you just search for it in this little search bar here. And next to that, you'll find your time frames. And as you can see, in my case, I'm currently set to a daily time frame. That means each one of these candlesticks represents 1 day of time. If we want to change the time frame, we'd give that a click, and it'll expand into a drop-down menu that will be displaying the time frames that are available to you. If you have a premium version of TradingView, you'll have tons of time frames all the way down to a second. If you have a basic version of TradingView, you'll have less time frames available to you. So that's certainly a consideration when choosing a plan. To switch the time frame, just simply click on the time frame that you wish to view. So if we want a 4 hour, we'd give it a click. Alternatively, we can just type in the time frame we wish to look at. So I can go 12H, enter. Now we're looking at a 12 hour. If I want a daily, I could go 1D, enter. Now we have a daily time frame. If we want a weekly, we'd go 1W, enter. Now we have a weekly. If we want a monthly, we could go 1M, enter. Now we're looking at a monthly. You can also build a favorites list of time frames. So let's come back up here to our time frames and give it a click. And you'll notice that they each have a little star beside them. So if we want to build a favorites list, we would just highlight the star. So let's start here with the weekly. We'll highlight that. Let's do daily. We'll add 12 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour. Let's do 30 minute and 15. Now I'll close this out. Now you can see we've built a little favorites list of time frames up at the top. And all we need to do is click on the time frame we wish to view. So let's go back to a daily here. And next to that is where you'll find your indicators. If you give that a click, here's where you can search indicators, metrics, and strategies, and there's no shortage of them on TradingView. Some indicators get added to the price action chart itself, such as Bollinger Bands or moving averages, and other indicators will appear down below your chart, such as an RSI or a MACD, for example. If you just simply wanted to browse through some of the indicators, you could come down here and click on Technicals. Then you could use the wheel of your mouse just to scroll down and see what TradingView has. When you find an indicator that you want to add, you just simply click on it. Alternatively, if you're looking for something specific, you'd come up here to the search bar and start typing it in. So let's do Bollinger Bands as an example. Now, as you can see, TradingView's already found it right here. To add the Bollinger Bands, we just give it a click. Now I'll go ahead and close this out. And as you can see, we've added the Bollinger Bands to the chart. To change the appearance or settings of any indicators that you add to your price action, you'll find the control panel for those indicators up here at the top left-hand side of the screen. So you can see right here, it says BB for Bollinger Bands. If we want to hide them, we just click on this little eye. If we want to reveal them, we'd click it again. And in this little cogwheel is where you'll find the settings for your indicators. So I'll go ahead and give that a click. And now we're getting a little pop-up window where we can adjust the inputs, style, and visibility, whatever is available for that indicator. So as an example, if we wanted to change some of these inputs, we could come down to standard deviation, currently set to a 2. That is the setting that I like to use with Bollinger Bands, but some traders will switch that to a 1. Now you can see the Bollinger Bands have adjusted in the background. Some people will change the length from a 20 to a 30. And as you can see, the Bollinger Bands adjusted once again. Now for me personally, when it comes to Bollinger Bands, I will leave this as a 20 and I will do 2 standard deviations. Now we can toggle over to style, and here's where we can change the look of the indicator. So if we wanted to change the color of the upper band, we'd click right here. Let's just move that to a purple. Let's do the lower band to a purple as well. And notice down below, you can also adjust the opacity of them right here. And we could even adjust the thickness of the bands as well. So as you can see, the band down below is getting thicker, but typically I just leave them on their thinnest settings. To me, it just looks a heck of a lot cleaner. If we want to change the background of the Bollinger Bands, we could do so by clicking right here and selecting a different color from this palette. And once again, you can adjust the opacity of the background of them as well. So as a quick example, that's how you access the settings for the indicators that you're adding to the price action. So I'll just go ahead and close this out. If at any point you want to remove an indicator from the price action, you just come up over here where this little X is and give it a click. Now I'll show you an example of indicators that you can add to the bottom of your chart. So if we come back up here to indicators, give that a click. This time in the search, let's look for the relative strength index. And we can do that by just simply typing in RSI. We can see it right here. We'll go ahead and give that a click. Let's go ahead and just add stochastic as well, just for fun. And we can see it right here. So let's go ahead and add that as well. And now you can see we've added the stochastic down below. The better your TradingView plan, the more indicators you can add to your chart. You can also add any of these indicators to your favorites by just simply clicking on the star. As you can see, I've already done that with stochastic. So if I come up to favorites, you can see stochastic in my favorites here. If I wanted to remove it, I just simply uncheck that star. So let's go ahead and just close this out. If we want to, we can slightly customize the view of our chart now. If I come down right here and hover my mouse over this little border, you'll see it turns into a couple little arrows. If I hold down left click, you can see that I can squish the price action if I want and expand the RSI, or I can do the opposite. I can make the RSI smaller, whatever your preference might be. If I come down to this little border here, I can do the same thing between both of the indicators. So there's a little bit you can do here to customize the view. If we want to change the order of the indicators, I can come over here on the side. You'll see a little arrow. If I give that a click, now I've moved the stochastic up above the RSI. If I wanted the RSI up there, I'd come over here, click on this little arrow. Now I've got the RSI up on top. If I want to put the RSI to full screen, I can double click on the RSI, and now we've expanded it to full screen view. If I double click it again, it goes back to the way we had it. It's the same thing with the stochastic. If we want to double click on that, now we've expanded the stochastic into full screen. Double click it again, and we're back to the way we were. Same thing with the price action. I can double click on it. Now we have just the price action. Double click again, and our indicators are back up down below. If you want to adjust the appearance or the settings of the indicators displayed down below, you'll find their control panel on the left-hand side of them. And just simply click on the little cog wheel. And in this case here, here's where we could adjust the style of the RSI, the inputs, and the visibility. And the best thing to do is just play around with the color settings and things and get it looking the way that you like it. At any given point, you can always come down here and you can click on Reset Settings. So lots of trial and error when setting up your charts and getting them looking exactly the way that you want them. When you have the settings set up the way you want it, just simply click on OK. And it would be the same thing for the stochastic down below. I'd find its control panel right over here. Click on this little cog wheel. And here's where we'd adjust the settings. And if at any point you wanted to remove an indicator from the bottom of your chart, you just come over here on the left-hand side, you'll find the little X, give it a click. And as you can see, we removed the stochastic. If we want to get rid of the RSI, we'd click on the little X right here. And as you can see, we deleted the RSI. And for anyone that might be interested, in the future, I plan to shoot some videos on the indicators that I like to use, as well as the settings that I use on those particular indicators. And I'll be adding those to a playlist on my YouTube channel. So certainly stay tuned for that if that's something that is of interest to you. Now that you know how to add some indicators to the chart, I'm going to show you how to save your chart layout. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time getting things set up, at least for the first couple times. So what I like to do is I like to come up here to the top right hand side of the screen and you'll find a little arrow. If you give that a click, you'll see there's a little auto save option right here, and I always have this on in case my computer crashes or I close out TradingView in a hurry. At least my chart layout gets saved. What's more is you can come right down here and you can name the chart layout. So let's go ahead and click where it says rename. And let's go ahead and call this TA1 and we'll click on save. Now you can see we've updated this to TA1. And if you want to, you can set up multiple chart layouts. To do that, we just click this little arrow here, come down to where it says new layout. Let's give that a click. Now let's set up things a little bit differently on this chart. Let's go ahead and add some indicators. Let's do a moving average. Let's go ahead and add maybe a MACD. Good enough for this demonstration, so I'll go ahead and just close that out. Now we'll come back up here to this little arrow, give it a click. We'll rename this chart. Let's go ahead and call this TA2. Then click on Save. And as you can see, we've now saved this as TA2. If we want to toggle between our two different chart layouts, we'd click this little arrow here. And right down here is where we can find our recently used chart layouts. So we can go back to TA1, just give that a click. Now, as you can see, it's loaded our chart settings for TA1. If we want TA2, we'd click this little arrow again, click on TA2. And now we're on our secondary chart layout. As simple as that. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this back to 1. Now I'll show you how to create a watch list, which you'll find on the right-hand side of your chart. To do that, just come up here where it says watch list. We'll give that a click. Then we'll come right here where it says create new list and give that a click. Now we can give our watch list a name. So let's just go ahead and call this one crypto. And then we'll click on save. Now, as you can see, we have a fresh watch list that we can build over here. To add some pairings to your watch list, just come up to the top and click on this little plus symbol. This will bring up your symbol search. So if you know the ticker symbol of the asset that you wish to add, here's where you can search for it. For example, let's do BTC USD. Then click on the pairing you wish to add. I'll go ahead and click on this one here. And as you can see, we've added that to the watch list. If you don't know the ticker symbol of the asset you wish to add, you can just start typing in the name of the asset. For example, let's do Ethereum. And as you can see, TradingView is giving us plenty of results down below. Just simply click on the pairing you wish to add. So we'll do this one here. And as you can see, we've added ETH to the watch list. Alternatively, you can use the symbol search over here at the top left-hand side of the chart. Once again, search for the asset that you wish to add. So we could do something like this. Now we'll click on the pairing that we wish to add to the watch list. And as you can see, it's brought up the chart, but it didn't add it to the watch list. So what we would do from here is right click on the chart, come down to add sold to watch list. Then we check the box of the watch list we wish to add that to. So in our case, it would be crypto. And as you can see, we've just added Solana to the watch list. If you know the ticker as well as the pairing you wish to add, you can also click on the chart and just start typing it in. For example, we could do ADA USD. That immediately brought up the symbol search. And now we'll go ahead and just click on the one we wish to watch. I'll click this one here. Once again, we've loaded the chart, but we haven't added it to the watch list. So we'll right click, add Cardano, and then we'll choose the watch list we wish to add it to. So in this case, it'd be crypto. And as you can see, we've added Cardano to the watch list. The easiest way is to simply use the plus symbol at the top of the watch list here. You can easily toggle between watch lists by just simply coming up to the top of your watch list, give that a click, and then you'll find your watch lists right here. So if we wanted to move from crypto back over to watch list, I'd give that a click. And as you can see, we've loaded this other watch list here. We can also organize our watch list as well. So if I was to come down here and grab onto Bitcoin, hold down left click, I can drag it up and put it with the other Bitcoin pairings up here. So you can always organize like so. And we can even assign a color to these pairings. So for example, if I click right here, let's make all our Bitcoin pairings red. So we'll go like that. And I'll go ahead and put red beside all of these down below. I can see a couple tech stocks here. Let's go ahead and make those ones blue. And I can see some random altcoins. Let's go ahead and make those ones green like so. Now what we can do is we can come up here to watch list, give that a click, and then we can come down and click on red list. Now we're viewing all our Bitcoin pairings. If we come back up here, click on this arrow, now we can select our blue list. Here's our tech stocks, give this a click. Now we can look at our green list and here's some of the random altcoins. Now there's various different reasons and various different ways to organize things. So certainly organize and set things up that works best for you. But that's one way to get that done. If we want to reload the entire watch list, we'll give this a click right here. We'll come back down, click on watch list. Now we're looking at the entire watch list. You can even take steps a little further with organizing your watch list. If you come up here and click on these little dots, then come down here and click on add section. Now let's go ahead and drag this section up. Let's keep going with this one all the way up to the top. Let's give this section a name. We'll call this Bitcoin. Now I'll click on the chart and let's come back up here to these dots, give that a click, and let's add another section. Now we'll drag this section up. Let's put it right here. Let's go ahead and call this section altcoins. And we'll add one more section here. And I'll drag this one up. And let's go ahead and call this one tech stocks. And you get the idea. So now we have everything nice and compartmentalized. All our Bitcoin pairings are here. We've got them marked in red. We have our altcoins down here marked in green. Then we have our tech stocks down here. And then from here, you can drag the pairings into their rightful spots. So we can put this one with our altcoins here. Same with that one. Let's go ahead and put green beside those guys. Just like so. And over here on the left-hand side of the chart is where you'll find all your drawing tools and cursor settings. You'll notice beside each one of these icons is a tiny little arrow. If you give that a click, it'll expand into a drop-down menu where you can find even more drawing tools. Your cursor settings can be found right here. As you can see, I'm currently set to cross, and I do like this cursor setting. As you can see, it gives you an instant read on the y-axis of the chart as well as down on the x-axis. Sometimes when I'm shooting a YouTube video, I'll switch this to an arrow like so. That way it's just a little bit less distracting when I'm filming. But when I'm doing my charting for trading purposes, I always leave this on a crosshair. As for the drawing tools, simply left-click on the drawing tool that you wish to add to the chart. For example, I'll go ahead and add a horizontal. I'll left-click on it. Now I'm going to come over to the chart, and I'm going to left-click where I wish to place it, so maybe somewhere in there. As you can see, I've added a horizontal. If I want a trend line, I can come up here, click on this little arrow, grab a trend line. Now I can left click on the starting point of that trend line, and I can drag it. You can see it just moves freely here. We can line it up where we want it, and then we can left click again. And now we've added a trend line. We can also come over here to this icon and give this a click to stay in drawing mode. Now you can see that's highlighted. Now I can add multiple horizontals without having to come back to the panel. So I can go like this, click, put one on there, put one on there, in here. And when I'm done, just right click, and now I have multiple horizontals. At any point, you can grab onto these lines. So if I want to move this horizontal here, I can grab onto it, hold down left click, and let's just imagine I want to drag it down somewhere in there. As easy as that. If I want to remove a line, I can right click on it, come down here to remove, give that a click, and as you can see, we've removed it. At any point, you can undo your last action by holding down Control and then pressing Z. And as you can see, we brought that horizontal back. If we want to change the appearance of them, we can click on the horizontal we wish to change the appearance. We can come up to this little panel here. We can adjust the color of it right here if we want. We can adjust the thickness of it here. So if we want it a little bit thicker like so, we could do something like that. We can even change the appearance of the line itself. So we could move from a line to a dashed line to a dotted line, whatever your preference might be. And of course, we can always remove that line by clicking on the trash icon right here. If you want to get rid of all your drawing tools at once, you can come down here where this little trash can is, give that a click, and then I can come over here, remove 4 drawing tools. And as you can see, we've removed them all at once. If we simply want to hide our drawing tools, what we can do is we can come over here to this little eye icon, give it a click. And as you can see, we've temporarily hidden both those lines. If I click it again, they both come back. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch the settings back. We'll come back over to this color here. I'm going to make that a line again, and I do like thinner horizontal lines like so. I'll go ahead and just remove this one from the chart. You can also add drawing tools to a favorites list. So to do that, you'd come back to your drawing tools, click on the little tiny arrow, and then highlight the star beside the drawing tool you wish to add to favorites. So let's go ahead and do trend line. Let's add horizontals. Down here, let's go ahead and add a fib retracement. Down here, let's go ahead and add a brush and a rectangle. And down here, we'll go ahead and add text. Why not? Now you can see we've created this little panel here that has our favorite drawing tools in it. At the end of the day, only you can decide on what drawing tools are going to be relevant to your strategy. So take some time, get to know all the different drawing tools in order to decide what are going to be best for you. Once you have them in this little panel here, it's as easy as clicking on them and then drag them to the chart wherever you want them. If we want to remove any of these tools from our favorites list, we can come back over here, click on the little triangle, and then uncheck the stars beside the tool that we wish to remove. Just like so. A couple quick tips before we move on here. If you come over to the chart, you can easily zoom in and out on it by just using the wheel of your mouse like so. You can also drag the price action left and right by holding down left click on the chart. If you want the price action to move more freely than this, you can come down here where it says auto, give that a click. Now when we come back to the chart and I hold down left click, you can see that I can drag the price action around anywhere. And this is quite helpful because sometimes the price action is just too close to the volume read and it becomes quite convoluted. At any point, you can always come back down here, click on auto to get it back to its default setting. Alternatively, you can come over here to the y-axis of the chart, hold down left click. Now I can drag my mouse down or up like so. Then when I come back over here to the chart, I can move it around freely again. If I want the default setting back, I just come back down here to auto, give that a click, and now we're back to the default. To set up an alert, just come up to the top of the screen and click on alert. And here's where we can create an alert. Currently, you can see this is set to crossing, which normally works perfectly fine for me. But if you give that a click, it becomes a drop-down menu where you can choose a different option if you wish. Right here, you can see this is set to value. So let's imagine that we want to be alerted if Bitcoin gets above 24,000. We could do something like that. Or you can even set an alert to an indicator. So if I click here where it says value, as you can see, I could set an alert to volume, RSI, or stochastic. If you had a different indicator up down below, you'd likely be able to set an alert to that specific indicator. Down here under options, we can choose to be alerted only once or every time it does that. And right here, we can set an expiration time for this alert. So let's imagine that I want this alert to expire 29th. And next to that, we could choose a time, of course. If you want open-ended alerts, you'll have to upgrade to the premium version. And then you'd simply just check this box here. And as you can see, I don't have access to it because I'm currently using Pro Plus. Down below that, we have our alert actions so we can be notified on app, show pop-up, send email, webhook URL. And right here under more actions, we can choose a different sound for the alert from this drop-down menu here. And we can choose the duration of the alert. We can even have alerts send email to SMS. Simply select the options that are going to work best for you. Right here, we can give the alert a name. So let's just go BTC. And then down here, we can even put a message in. So we can go BTC crossing 24K. Once you have this set up the way that you want it, you just simply click on create. Now you can see we've added that alert to the chart, this little dotted orange line here. We can easily amend the alert from here by just simply clicking on it, holding down left click, and now we can drag it. So let's imagine we want to drag it up here. Now we'll get our pop-up window and we'll click on save. And as you can see, we just amended the alert up to this pivot point right here. If we want to remove that alert, we can right click on it and then click on remove. Yes, and now it's removed. We can also quickly add alerts by lining up our crosshairs where we wish that alert to appear. Then coming over here to the y-axis of the chart and clicking on this little plus sign. Now click where it says add alert. And as you can see, we quickly added an alert. We can even do another one down here. We'll go ahead and hit this little plus sign like so, add alert. Let's go ahead and just drag this one up a little bit, maybe something like that. Save, looks good. Now if price action was to cross down below this level here, Tradingview will be alerting us. If price action is to get through this level here, Tradingview will be alerting us. You can also add alerts for multiple assets. As an example, let's come over here to Aave. Then we'll come over to the chart. I'll just go ahead and use this little plus button right here. We'll add an alert there. Let's go ahead and add another alert up here. And if at any point you don't see this plus button here, right click on your chart, come down to settings, come to scales, and right here's your plus button. If I uncheck that, you'll see the plus button is removed. So make sure that's checked on and then click on OK. Once you have multiple alerts set up for multiple different assets, you can find them all by coming up over here and clicking on this little alarm clock. And as you can see, all our active alerts are viewable here. If we want to remove any of these alerts from here, we can just come over to this little X and give it a click and then confirm, and it's gone. It's as easy as that to stay organized with your alerts. To get back to the watch list, we'll go ahead and click on this tab right here. And there you have it, your introduction to using Tradingview. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe. Thank you so much for coming by and checking out this video. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. And until I do, have yourself a powerful day.